Well, we're finally there. We're basically to the end of the book. This is the last of the modules that come directly out of the book. Now, this is not adding to, remember we had 13 characteristics, and this is sort of a hodgepodge of how we closed out some of the things that are kind of going to hold you back from accomplishing or developing the 13 skills that we think are necessary for you to be or to have success the way you want to do. So where he refers to this as the three enemies. Number one is indecision. We've talked about this before, but this is a biggie. Will keep you from taking action. And as we've said before, a poor decision is usually better than no decision. So learn to become decisive. Otherwise, it'll hold you back. Number two, doubt. Can I do it? I don't know. I'm not sure. You know what? Go on the assumption you can do it. Confidence is attractive. Confidence is appealing. As long as you're prepared, you've performed your plan, go for it. You'll probably win. And even if you don't, we've talked about failure before. It's not a big deal. Fail forward. So don't have doubt. Why have doubt? Be positive that you can do it. If you can't, you can't. But you'll never have been in a worse position. Now, even if it does fail, you had no chance of it working if you didn't try it. So this way you maximize by not having doubt, have confidence you can pull it off, and you're maximizing your chance that you really can. And third, avoid fear. Fear is everywhere. I've always liked the little acronym, false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Most things you're afraid of will never happen. All the stuff that you spend time worrying about, most of it will never happen. So why'd you put yourself through it? It was just like it did happen. If you spend your time focused on the fear, it happens. Then the reality, so even when it doesn't, you live through it. Why put yourself through that? Just don't worry about it, face it, and you'll be surprised that most of the time nothing happens. Here are his he's famous for the 6 basic fears, Napoleon Hill, and these are 6 things you need to avoid. 1, fear of poverty. Don't be afraid of poverty. Fix it. That's the purpose of the book. That's why we focus so much on it in this book. You don't have to live that way. Even if you grew up that way, you don't have to live that way. I grew up that way, and I was committed to not ever having to experience that. And you can too. Again, people are afraid of criticism. Who cares what other people think? We ran through this in an earlier module. Again, it doesn't matter what your family, even a spouse, parents. Criticism comes with the territory. If you're going to do the kind of big things you want to do, you are going to be criticized. If you ever want to be president or the leader, leaders get hammered. Look at in the world of politics and things. It doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, whoever is on top is going to be hammered and criticized. You got to have a thick skin. 3, people are afraid of poor health. Again, just like poverty, fix it. Be proactive. Now, again, there are things you can't do anything about. Like the example in the earlier module, I talked about my dad a little bit. There was nothing he could have done. You can't train your way out of multiple sclerosis. You're going to get it. Cancer, you're going to get it. If it happens, it happens. But there are lots of areas of health that you can fix. If you're overweight, if you're not in good condition, you can fix it. You can eat better. There are a lot of preventable diseases that you can fix. Be proactive, exercise, eat well, get enough sleep. These are things you can have an influence on. People are afraid of loss of love. Forget it. Be the best person you can be, and you're going to have somebody in your life that you care about. Don't worry about, well, what if I get a divorce? Well, again, don't, that's terrible psychology. Again, assume that'll never happen. Till death do us part. You're going to be married forever. Assume that. And then, if it doesn't happen, you'll deal with it. But be the best person you can to maximize your chance. So don't dwell on it. Fear of old age. What on earth are you afraid of? Old age is a great thing. Means you made it. When you're young, you got a lot of stuff to go through. And for 40 years after the fact, now you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, you made it. All the people who are younger, someday want to effectively make it to be an old age. You don't want to die young. So old age is not something to be feared. When you're older, you will have more understanding. And this is really true. I'm now older. I get it. I didn't understand this when I was 25 or 30, and frankly, never thought much about it. But boy, do I know stuff now. That's part of why I'm doing these programs, is I came to realize how much I knew after a lifetime of studying all this material on how to be successful. I wanted to share it with the people. I wish I would have had this stuff when I was 25. It would have helped me a lot. And I had to figure it out. And hopefully I can help you so you don't have to. So that's what comes understanding, wisdom. You have less stress. I've got all my money issues, the stuff that you thought about when you were 30, about your money and your life and success. I'm done with all that. I have no financial stress whatsoever. I am not stressed. I've had a great life. So I am probably less stressed now than I ever was in my entire life. And so that's what can come with old age if you do it right. And finally, people are afraid of death. Why? It's inevitable. Nobody's getting out of here alive. And I choose to believe that when it happens, okay? But it's not a bad thing. I'm going to heaven. I have no question in my world about the result. Based on my faith, I know I'm going to heaven. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Savior. So according to the Bible, that means I'm going. And that's the way I choose to believe. Your belief might be different. That's okay. But there's no reason to fear what is inevitable. It's going to happen. Everybody. We just don't know when. And again, if you dwell on stuff, be careful. Remember, what you think about happens. And now, those are the 6 main ones, and he sort of adds one at the end, which I would call the 7th evil of the world that you want to avoid, is susceptibility to negativity. Again, we've talked about this before, and he emphasizes it towards the end. Friends and relatives are the worst. They're the ones who are going to bring you down. It's not your enemies, it's your friends that are going to get you. You're ready for your enemies, but the friends and relatives who they may think they're trying to help you, they're the ones you have to watch out the most. You got to close your mind to all negativity. Remember, you get to decide. It's again not what happens to you, but what you do with what happens, how you react. And again, famous quote, anything the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. If you've ever thought about something for yourself in the future, and then you have this momentary vision or thought of, oh man, I'm going to someday be driving a Mercedes. And then let's say you're still in the stage where you're broke driving a beat up old car. The fact that you would have just subconsciously, that thought of you driving the Mercedes, that means you can achieve it. This should make you excited. Anytime you've had a daydream where you've thought of yourself as a star or famous or rich or whatever it was for you, the fact that you had that thought, that means you can have it. It can happen for you if you go after it in an organized fashion like we've told you or talked to you in this course. Now, final thoughts as we wrap up. Again, it's going to be a little harsh. If you were so great, your life would be better than it is now. And again, I'm not trying to insult you here, but a common attitude I find is people will go through the self-help books and courses like this one. And at the end, they, no, I don't think so. I don't want to do that. Or well, I don't want to say those automatic, statements, the affirmations. That's silly. I don't want to have a mastermind group. Whatever step here along the way that you did not like. You know what? If your life was so great, you probably wouldn't have taken the course. You wouldn't have bought the course. Your life can be better. And if you were better, you'd be getting better results. So before you dismiss all this stuff, think about that. Maybe you have to change to get what you really want. Because the you that is there isn't good enough yet. So you have to get better. And the way you get better, identify your weaknesses and fix them. Along the way, we've given you lots of lists of, lack of leadership and all the fears and the emotional issues that you need to avoid. Go through those. Apply a little self-analysis. Be honest with yourself. What areas can you work on that would make you better? And then start working on it. Benefit from the wisdom of others who have done all this stuff. And develop a lifetime self-improvement plan. This should not be the last course you ever buy. I've got other courses, and lots of other people have other courses. You should be doing this all the time. Pick areas that you are weak in, and then find yourself a course that you can buy or participate in, or a book, and start reading and start studying. This is a lifetime thing. Even when you're 65 years old, you're not going to retire, really. You're still getting better. That's the attitude I want you to think about. There are no excuses. Success is worth it. If you've ever been poor, rich is better. If you've ever been on the low end of the success totem pole, being on the top is better. It is worth paying the price. My only regret is that I probably, knowing what I know about life now and success, I would have paid even a bigger price than I did and tried to get it sooner, because it's great when you make it. And I thought it would be good, but I had no idea how good it was. So there are no excuses. No price isn't worth paying that you want to really go for it. So what's next? You need to develop a career plan, develop a financial plan. I personally believe you should have a side business of some sort. I've always had some kind of plan B, something working on the side. I would suggest stay on my mailing list. And in the future, I'll be providing you resources to help you move forward. And you can kind of start here. You can do this slow, or you can do it fast. Success. If you choose fast, go to my website. Lots of resources there. And on a regular basis, check into my blog, uh, where we talk about how to, again, hopefully lead a more successful life. Thank you very much. I enjoyed doing the program, and I wish you well.